Good evening and welcome to our Ennis College presentation. I'm Lizzie Brown. I am the head of Ennis College and I'm just going to talk to you about a few aspects that might not have been mentioned in that first meeting. But if you do have any questions, please feel free to use the chat function throughout the meeting and I'll endeavour to answer as many of them as I can at the end. Next slide, please. Thank you. So we have 3 colleges at Ennis and this at Barnwell, and this has been touched on slightly in the other meeting. So all of you are going to be members of Ennis College. And what that means is that we are the best college and we are much better than Hoy and Redgrave. We as a college work really hard. We always do really well in the college competition. And I do expect us to win every year. We have a really good track record with it. So all you need to know is that Ennis are the best college and Redgrave and Hoy, they're okay, but you've definitely been put in the best place for the next 3 years. So attendance and punctuality. As Miss Hull said, we expect you to have really good attendance of over 95%. So that means coming to school as often as you can. If there's ever a reason why you're worried about being in, or there's something that you think we can do to help you improve your attendance, please let us know. We also expect you to be coming to school on time and having excellent punctuality. That means at 8:35, when the day starts, we expect you to be in the room and ready to learn. That isn't at 8:35, it's time to start walking to your lesson or to your form group. That's 8:35, you need to be there and ready to go. The more time you're in school, the more you can learn, and attendance can have a massive impact on what you achieve at the end of it. So please make sure you are in as often as you can. Obviously, we know that sometimes you will be unwell and there'll be some times where you can't come into school because of that, but we will do absolutely everything that we can to support you to have good attendance. We like to reward students for good attendance, so it's an individual basis. You'll get college points and sometimes you even get rewarded for having 100% attendance. Every year we give out certificates for this to ensure that students know we appreciate their good attendance and how much that is going to impact on their outcome when they finish Barnwell. Next slide, please. Thank you. So uniform. A few of you have been asking about school uniform. There are some compulsory items that we expect all of you to have. So we expect you to have a blazer. This is worn at all times. Every day you will be expected to wear your blazer into school. Also a college tie. We've got the best colour, so our colours are purple. So you'll be expected to have a tie with 2 purple stripes on it. You can't tie your tie short, it does need to be a normal length tie, otherwise we will ask you to correct it. And a good way of remembering this is, are the 2 stripes underneath the knot at the top? I know many of you probably haven't worn a tie before, and you definitely haven't worn a tie to school. So the school holidays are a really good time to practice this. There are some excellent YouTube videos and talk throughs on the internet that show you how to tie a tie. It will make it much easier when you come to getting changed for PE and getting ready in the mornings if you can tie your own tie. So a standard white shirt, this can be long sleeved or short sleeved, whatever you prefer to wear, but it will need to be tucked in at all times. Black trousers, so these cannot be skinny or denim style trousers. These need to be normal black trousers. Skirts. So skirts need to be pleated and no shorter than just above the knee. We do not allow skater skirts or any other form of skirts. They need to be pleated skirts. And black closed-toed shoes. So no sandals, no trainers, plimsolls or boots are permitted. So please make sure you are coming in the correct school uniform every day. We want you to look smart and we want to ensure that you have the best possible outcomes. So wearing the correct uniform and coming in fully equipped is really important. The uniform can be bought from Kids Connection and I believe you can order it online, or you can go to the shop to order it, which I think is in either Ware or Hertford. Sorry, I can't remember off the top of my head which one. But make sure you're having a look and you're trying on your uniform before you start. Order your uniform sooner rather than later to ensure it is delivered on time so you can start Barnwell in September in all of your brand new uniform. So hair, makeup and jewellery. We only allow you to wear 1 earring in each ear and a watch. That is all the jewellery you are permitted to wear. Makeup should be kept to a minimum, perhaps a bit of mascara, that's okay, but really nothing else. And your hair. Your hair needs to be a natural colour. So that's no highlights, no dye, and it needs to be a non-extreme cut. So don't have it too short, don't have anything really over the top. So it needs to be as natural as possible. Make sure that you are following these rules. If not, we will be asking you to take makeup off. We may ask you to dye your hair back to a natural colour, and we will confiscate jewellery that you cannot have. Please don't put yourself in a position where we need to ask you to change it. If you follow these simple rules, then we won't be put in a place where that needs to happen. Please think about things before you make a decision. And if you're wearing jewellery that you don't want taken off you, please don't wear it into school. So just stick to the 2 earrings and a watch. So PE kit. Everybody has to have a PE kit, and you will change into this every time you have a PE lesson and for most of your dance lessons. So compulsory items for all of you need to have a Barnwell School PE shirt. You need to have shorts, suitable sporting trainers, football boots, that is for both girls and boys, and red PE socks. Optional items, so girls, you can choose to wear a skirt if you prefer, which is a skirt with the shorts underneath. Universal jogging bottoms or sports leggings. So the sports leggings have to be purchased from the school. No alternatives are permitted. And a hoodie. So the hoodie is optional. You do not have to have it. Again, it has to be purchased from the school. You can't just wear a Nike hoodie. It has to be a Barnwell School hoodie. You can see the student on the left-hand side of the photo wearing the Barnwell School hoodie. So please make sure if that's what you want, you purchase the right one, as we don't want you to be getting into trouble for having a Nike hoodie or an Adidas hoodie rather than a Barnwell School hoodie. The PE kit can also be purchased from the same place that you get the school uniforms from. And again, I would advise getting things early to make sure they fit and that you're ready to go in September. Thank you. So equipment. You need to be equipped for school and ensure you have all of the correct equipment. We do have spares that we can loan, but it's better if you come in with your own equipment. Everybody needs a pencil case, and when it comes to exams, we expect your pencil cases to be clear so that we can see what is in them. Every student needs a black, blue and green writing pen, and I would suggest having a couple of each because you don't want to be in a situation where your pen runs out and you can't continue with your work. I know I get frustrated if I have to swap colours halfway through a piece of work, and I'm sure some of you will too. Pencils. It's always good to have a couple of pencils to make sure you're ready for lessons where you need them. Always have more than one in your pencil case as well, just in case anything gets broken. A scientific calculator. So instead of a normal calculator, you are expected to have a scientific one. There are more buttons on a scientific calculator and more functions, and you will use these in a number of lessons. So it is important that you ensure you have a scientific calculator. An eraser. So a rubber to rub out those mistakes. We all make mistakes, and it's really good if we have an eraser and we can correct them. If not, you can put a line through it, but an eraser you will find much easier, especially if you are drawing in art and you want to get rid of a mistake you might have made. A ruler. You can either have a 15cm ruler or a 30cm ruler. I've had a lot of questions in the past couple of days from current students about how long their ruler should be. We just ask for you to have a ruler, so please make sure you have one in your pencil case. A set square, a protractor and a compass. So these can be purchased as math sets, but you will need them in your pencil case because you'll use them on a regular basis in maths and science, and as well as a sharpener to sharpen your pencils when they go a little bit blunt. As I said, we can provide equipment if people lose them, but it would be much more beneficial for you to have your own pencil cases and your own equipment to ensure that you're not getting into trouble for missing equipment. You can buy pencil cases from the school, but that will be something that will be sent to you in later days if you haven't received that already. Thank you, Mr. Patchin. So show my homework. I know some of you at primary school have had very little homework, but you are all now used to working from home, I assume, after the past year that we've just had. So our homework is set on Show My Homework, and it is an award-winning solution to homework. You have a log on and your parents have a log on, and they can monitor which homework you are completing and which homework needs a little bit more work. Teachers will grade your homework on Show My Homework, so they'll put effort, they'll say what grade you got, they'll give you comments, and both you and your parents can see it. Sometimes your teachers might ask you to submit your homework via Show My Homework, so it's really important that you're going on every day to check what homework you have and making sure it is completed to the best possible standard. I know many of you will probably moan and say, oh, I don't want to complete homework, oh, there's going to be a lot of it. But we do have a homework timetable in place to ensure that you're not getting hundreds of pieces. It's not being set for the next day to be handed in. You usually have around a week to complete your homework. Sometimes it might be a little bit less just because of when your lessons fall, but we do try and give you as much time as we possibly can. If you're struggling with homework at any point or you find anything difficult, please email your teachers. So I know Miss Hull spoke about in her presentation how you can get in touch with teachers, but please send us an email. We want to help you. We want to ensure you know what to do. Don't leave it till the day that the homework is due in or the night before. Come and find us if you don't want to email us. Come and ask us and we will happily, every single member of staff will happily sit and show you what to do for your homework and how to complete it. We would rather that you asked than you worried about getting it wrong. So please let us know. We want to help you. Okay, so we have PRIDE, and PRIDE stands for passionate, resilient, innovative, determined, and empathetic. And these are qualities that we look for in our students. We award PRIDE points. So PRIDE points are worth 2 positive points on the system. So if you show one of these skills, your teacher can award you points for doing that, and they all add in and contribute to the college competition. We also reward college points. So again, these are worth 1 point. They're not worth as much as PRIDE points, but they add into the college competition, which is how we get to where we are today. I think we're currently in 2nd place, but that doesn't mean in the next 8.5 days we can't win. We are the only college that have won 3 consecutive years in a row, and I do think that we need to get that winning streak back up. You will also find that the elements of PRIDE are embedded in your lessons throughout the school, and it is part of our everyday vocabulary. So these are the qualities we will be looking for. You'll see posters around school about it. Your teachers will talk to you about it. You'll even have lessons based on these skills. So think about now how you could show these skills when you come to school and how you can start to get points for the college. The more we get, the better we'll be. Thank you, Mr. Patchin. So we now have a chance for some question and answers. If you have any questions, please feel free to pop it in the chat, and our maestro, Mr. Patching, will share them like he did in the last meeting. So Mr. Patching, do we have any questions?
So hi everybody, we have a few of you are saying about you're struggling with the link to the form tutor section at 7 o'clock. Mr. Reevil is frantically working on that as we speak. So you will have something through any minute for that. So thank you for letting us know about that. We've had a few questions about football boots, okay. And I've done 1 or 2 private messages back for those, but basically football boots will be used in PE lessons in year 7. And if you could get the moulded boots, that would be great, because then you can use them on the grass as well as on our brand new AstroTurf pitch. I
know from previous parents in the past, Decathlon's been a really good place to get the boots from, because they're not too expensive and they're able to be replaced easily if your child's feet grow. So it's always worth looking in there.
Okay. We have a couple of questions about Show My Homework and Satchel 1. So I think there's just a bit of confusion. Satchel 1 is the new name for Show My Homework. So we may describe it as Show My Homework, but it is actually exactly the same platform. It's just been rebranded as Satchel 1 now. So that hopefully will kind of cover that issue.
Stuck to calling it Show My Homework. We're so used to it, aren't we?
Yeah, I know. And 2 other questions. Number 1, what support do we offer for children with autism?
Okay, so we are a really inclusive school. My suggestion would be for you to talk to Mrs. Oljay Arsenko. She will be able to give you really specific information and get to know information about your child, because we like to ensure that the provision is individualised for the different students, and all teachers will be aware before the children start of any additional needs that are required and any extra support that may be in place. But for the answer to be specific, my advice would be email Miss Olj and arrange a chat with her. Her email is h.olj, which is olcay @barnwell.hearts.sch.uk, but you can find that on the website if you missed what I've just said.
Brilliant, thank you. We have a question about what happens if we get lost and late to a lesson on the first day.
Oh, please don't worry. We understand that sometimes it's confusing. It's a whole new building. And I'll be honest with you, there are certain members of staff that get lost or don't know how to get out of buildings because there's buttons they needed to press and they didn't notice it was there. We know that at first you might find things a little bit difficult, but please be assured you will have a chance to walk around the school. We're not just going to say, off you go to maths, and you have no idea where that is. Everything is also signposted and people will help. If you're stuck, you can ask any student, any member of staff, and we will direct you to the right place. We've all been in year 7 once and we all remember what that feels like. I guarantee you, by the end of your first week, you will probably know where everywhere is in the school and you will want to direct other people and you'll feel really confident walking around the school. Give it a couple of days and you'll be so used to your timetable, you'll know where everything is. But have a look on the website. There is a tour of the school, there is a drone flying over, and there are maps that you can look at before you begin.
Fabulous. One question about, are jumpers required?
Jumpers are not required. You are more than welcome to buy a jumper, a Barnwell School jumper, and you can wear it throughout the year. It is not a replacement for a blazer, so you will still be expected to have a blazer, but it's not compulsory. So if you don't want a jumper, you don't have to have one, but if you do, then it is worth getting one. It is also worth noting that sometimes when it is cold in the winter, you can wear a jumper under your blazer, the Barnwell School jumper, so it will help to keep you warm.
Thank you. So I think we have a couple of potential Harry Kanes in the audience asking about how we go about joining clubs like the football club.
So when you start in September, there'll be clubs that are published. So we're hoping that with COVID relaxing and things getting a bit more back to normal, we'll be able to put more extracurricular on than we have been able to this year, because extracurricular's only been running really for the past term at school because of COVID restrictions. You will find there are clubs in all sorts of different things that you won't ever have thought of before, or subjects that you might not have done. So when you start, you will find in the first couple of weeks a timetable of extracurricular will be published, and my advice would be turn up or speak to the teacher of that subject before you attend. So for example, PE, speak to your PE teacher. If it's drama, talk to your drama teacher. If it's science, maths, IT, talk to your teacher and see what they suggest, and they'll be able to tell you where to go and when. But in the first couple of weeks, you will receive a timetable of extracurricular activities that you can access.
Fab. And this is a really good question about school dinner money. How does the whole dinner money and kind of thumbprint work?
So we have a biometric system. So we use thumbprints to contain your money. So your parents can log onto the School Gateway app and they can upload your money onto your thumbprint. It does normally take about 20 minutes to load. So if you're in a bit of a panic and you've forgotten, please make sure you've done it before lunchtime, because it can take a little while to load onto the finger. But what you do is you go up to a machine if you've got cash, you put your thumbprint on the machine and it will recognise that it's you, and then you can upload money to it, and that goes on instantly. You then go down to the canteen, you can pick what you like. We have an amazing canteen and there are so many different choices. I know a lot of students love our school dinners, and you don't have to have a main meal every day. So maybe at primary school, you're used to having a meat, vegetables, gravy. But here you might have that, or you might have a slice of pizza, you might have a sandwich, you might have a baguette, you might have one of our wraps that's full of tikka chicken and different things. So we do have a really exciting menu, but it's all done with your thumbprint. If your parents haven't given you permission for the biometric system, you'll be given a PIN code, and it works in exactly the same way. It's just a 4-digit PIN code, and when you go to the till to pay, you type in your PIN code and your picture comes up on the screen so they know it's you. It is a really easy system, and again, I guarantee you after the first time of using it, you'll know exactly what to do. But your thumbprint will be taken the first day that you come into school to ensure you're set up and ready to go on the system.
Thank you. We've had a few questions about school coats and rucksacks. Do they need to be dark colours, and do rucksacks need to be Barnwell rucksacks?
So you can have any rucksack that you like, as long as it is an appropriate bag for school and that you can carry your belongings in it. Please remember that some of your books are A4 sized, they're not all small A5 size, so you do need quite a large bag to carry things around in. And some days you might have cooking ingredients, your PE kit and all your books, so think about that when buying bags. Doesn't have to be Barnwell branded though. Coats do need to be dark coloured. We don't allow hoodies or jackets that aren't coats. So if you are seen in a jacket that's not a coat, so it might be a sports jacket or something like that, we will ask for you to take it off. They do need to be coats and they do need to be dark coloured, please.
Okey-doke. And I think pretty much the last one that we have is, do we have Spanish or French lessons?
So it depends on your timetable. So some of you will have Spanish, some of you will have French, some of you might have both, some of you might do French and German, some of you might do Spanish and German, but unfortunately I can't give you that information until we get your timetables. It just depends on the groupings and which members of staff are available when. We hope that by the time you have finished Key Stage 3, you will have had a chance to experience all languages, if possible. But you will be looking at 2 languages. Unfortunately, I can't just tell you which ones they are, but you will have the opportunity as a whole year group to have lessons in French, Spanish and German, hopefully at some point. Was that the last question?
So we've just got two or three very quick ones left, if that's okay.
Of course it is.
Number one, can they have a handbag?
If it can fit everything in, you can have a handbag. I tend to find though that the students that have handbags have to bring extra bags to put their PE kit in, their cooking ingredients and things like that. So it's not always the best bag to have because of the space in it. So my advice would be look for a rucksack over a handbag if you can. Okay,
and can you take your phone into school?
Phone, so no, please don't bring your phone into school. We do understand that students do have to bring phones in for journeys home and journeys to school. So if they are in school, they need to be off and in the bottom of your bag, please. If you are seen on your phone at any point, they will be confiscated. And the second time it's confiscated, your parents are expected to collect it from the school. We won't give it back to you. So make sure your phones are off and in your bag if they are on you in school. We don't want to be confiscating phones. We have a no phone policy.
Okay, thank you. And the very last question, and when do the students get their timetables?
So you'll get your timetables on your very first day. So you'll spend some time with your form tutor on the first day. And at that point, they'll provide you with your timetables. You'll get a tour of the school and you'll be able to see everything and ask all the questions that you might have had. So you will get some time with your tutors and that's when you get your timetables.
Brilliant. I think that's it for the questions. Thank you very much, everybody, for your questions.
Thank you very much for joining us. I am looking forward to seeing you in September and seeing a number of you on the summer school. If you do have any further questions, please don't hesitate to contact me on my email address at any point and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. But it was lovely to speak to you all and hopefully I'll get to see you face to face soon. Thank you.